Well, joining me now is Tzipi, the Israeli diplomat and former politician who is the current Israel ambassador to the United Kingdom. Thank you very much indeed for coming in to see us. Perhaps first of all you can just update us on the situation. We're hearing that a number of people have been killed by Israeli rockets in Gaza, that it included children, 20 killed, including 3 children. Is that correct?
What happened today is that Jerusalem, the capital of Israel, was under attack. Over 60 rockets were fired to Israeli cities, to children, to kindergarten, to schools, and to the Israeli parliament. For the first time since I remember, since Israel was established, the Israeli parliament was evacuated. Think about it. We're sitting here 5 minutes away from Westminster. Can you imagine the British parliament being evacuated because of a rocket attack? Think what a red line was crossed today in Jerusalem because terrorist radicals, Hamas terror organization, has decided to fight Israel. Israel was trying to de-escalate for the last few days. We did everything in our power to de-escalate. Even today, that it's Jerusalem Day, it's a celebration. We are celebrating the unification of Jerusalem. In fact, since Jerusalem was united, we let freedom of worship to all religions. And even in those days, we can see those rioters coming to Temple Mount, using it as a place of violence, piling up rocks and firing it and shooting it to people that were praying in the Western Wall. Those are things that any sovereign nation cannot tolerate.
And we'll talk about those issues in a moment, but I just sort of wanted an update on that figure because officials in Gaza are saying that 3 children were killed, 20 others killed as well. I mean, have you got an update or do you not know the numbers?
You need to have the picture framed right. We don't want any loss of life, but we're protecting our people. When the people of Israel are being under fire, they expect, like any other people in any other state, that the government will protect them. This is why the cabinet was sitting today, and this is why the prime minister was declaring and saying, whoever wants to escalate the things and whoever wants to actually target our people, target civilians, we will have to protect ourselves using our army to defend our people. This is what Israel has been doing. Israel has been defending itself after a violent 3 days that we've been trying to do everything in our power to de-escalate.
Do you think the police were de-escalating things when they set off those stun grenades in the mosque? Worshippers say that they were provoked by the police.
The police is there to keep law and order. This is their duty. And the fact that they're policemen and they had to go to the holy place is just because of one reason. We have seen, I mean, everything is under a video today. You know, everything today is...
On the holiest night of Ramadan, though.
Yes,
the timing was terrible, wasn't it?
Let me say that. For years, the holy month of Ramadan, we allow and we enabled to thousands and thousands of Muslims to go and pray in the mountain. And for many years, no provocations, no Israeli soldiers have to be on Temple Mountain. So people in the house, when they're watching us, they need to ask, what happened this time? So the answer is incitement of the leadership of the Palestinians, coming both from the Hamas leaders and from the PLO leaders. And this is a serious problem. While Israel was calling everyone to calm down, to come into peace. Jerusalem is a city of peace. This is why we're so proud of the fact that since Israel is back and being the sovereign, we allow every single person to practice his religion in the city. But the problem is those radicals Islamists, the Hamas terror organization, they try to do anything in their power to incite those rioters. And those rioters were piling those rocks and trying to do anything in their power to create violence on the holiest place, which is the Temple Mount.
OK, well, let's look at the broader picture now, shall we? Because we're talking about provocation and incitement. We spoke to the Palestinian ambassador to the UK a short time ago. He says it's ethnic cleansing what's been going on in Jerusalem, demolishing homes, evicting Palestinians in Sheikh Jarrah and elsewhere. Ethnic cleansing. He says that is the provocation that has led to today.
I've never heard anything that was more disconnected to the reality. I mean, I'm sure you've been to Jerusalem. Walk in Jerusalem neighborhoods. It's all mixed. Arabs and Jews can live together, and you can see more and more Arabs living everywhere. And Jews, of course, they can live everywhere in Jerusalem. This is our capital city. We've been connected to the city for 3,000 years. No one can tell us where to live and where not to live in Jerusalem. And we do that according to what we believe is a real unity between Arabs and Jews. The provocators are the one who needs to explain to people why they're using violence time after time.
Let me tell you what else he said. He said, if you want justice, why can't Palestinians have back their land taken from them in 1948 and the 1967 wars, just as Jewish settlers are taking land owned by Palestinians in Sheikh Jarrah? I mean, he does have a point, doesn't he?
Well, the Sheikh Jarrah issue has been going on as a case in the court for years. So it's not like this was the real trigger. It's really important to remember that. This is a court case. It's been going on in Israeli courts for years. Now, look, the Attorney General of Israel, he asked the courts to postpone the decision about this issue because of the sensitivity of the time. So this is one of the things that Israel did as a restraint to make sure things will get back to calm and peace. This is what we really want to achieve. And the reason that we are doing it is because we want the legal justice to come out, but we also want to be sensitive to what is happening. So it's a matter of a legal decision. And we need to trust the independent judicial system of Israel that will make a decision. But the world settlers shouldn't be part of Jerusalem. Jews are not settlers in their capital. Jews need to live wherever they want in Jerusalem. This was my grandfather was praying for 2,000 years just to get to Jerusalem. That's the whole idea behind Zionism, is to come to Jerusalem and to live.
OK, let me put something else to you, because some are saying that Israeli politicians are fanning the flames. They're making this situation worse as a distraction from Benjamin Netanyahu's problems at the moment, his problems with the corruption trial, the fact that he can't form a coalition government, and that this is a very convenient distraction.
The other way around. Actually, I would say it's the opposite. Think about it. The hardest decision for a right-wing prime minister is to say to Jews, Jews cannot go on Temple Mount on the day of Jerusalem. This was the decision that this government was actually delivering to the people of Israel. They cannot go on Temple Mount on the day of Jerusalem. This is not something that is very popular on a political level. But still, the government of Israel choose time after time to restrain, time after time to de-escalate. So it's the opposite. The political crisis is huge. I completely agree that there is a political crisis. But if there is something that any state wants, is stability when it comes to defense and security. And I don't think any prime minister wants to put Jerusalem, in this tension. This is really the radicals and the terrorists that are trying to take us there.
Well, it's interesting you say that. Let me put this to you. Human Rights Watch, the independent organisation, says Israel's actions in recent months amount to apartheid. They quote Benjamin Netanyahu last year, who said, "We are the ones dictating the security rules. They will remain Palestinian subjects." I mean, they're serious accusations, and they're not helping to calm the situation, are they?
Never heard more nonsense in my life. Israel is a democracy, a vibrant one, as you can see with the following election, and equal rights for everyone. And we're very proud of it. Not very far away, the third party in Israeli parliament was the Arab Party. So you cannot say that people don't have equal rights when they have totally equal representation. Every government that is now on the table, part of it will have an Arab section. So just claiming that is complete nonsense.
OK, we're running out of time, and I'm interested to know where you think this is going to go. Some Palestinians are saying it's the start, potentially, of the third intifada. Do you agree with that? Do you think it could become as serious as that?
Well, I think this is exactly the role of the international community. Israel will defend its people. We will do everything in our power to make sure that all children, tomorrow all children in Israel, most of them, cannot go to school because the rockets are being fired on our schools and kindergartens. The international community should start to condemning those firing rockets into our capital, and the international community should call Palestinian leadership to stop inciting.
On both sides tonight.
Well, there is no violence on both sides. There is one side who's inciting, and one side, which is the Israeli side, who's trying to de-escalate, as I said. So if you're asking me what will be the future, well, we will defend our people, for sure, but it depends on the Palestinian leadership whether they want to escalate. Okay. If they want to escalate, they will have us protecting ourselves with all the power we have.
All right, we're out of time. Ambassador, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you. I really hope for more peace in Jerusalem.
Yes, all of us do. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're watching Sky News tonight. Still to come.